Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday morning. Welcome to another Live Freestyle Game Dev live stream. We work this like an AMA or a Q&A. People hop in, they ask questions about Unreal Engine, game dev, etc. We definitely don't know all the answers, but try to stumble through those together. My name's Kevin. We do this twice a week, Sunday nights and Wednesday mornings right now. I work in game dev professionally. I'm currently working in R&D at Riot Games. I get to do a lot of really cool stuff at work, but there's a lot of really cool stuff I don't get to do at work. So this is a chance for me to stumble through that, learn about other disciplines, and so on. Maybe help some people out at the same time. Also, if there are no questions, it's no big deal. We are basically making our own game as well. And so I'm just streaming that progress, and it is serious stumbling. Like, progress is tough sometimes. Always seems like I do better. I always seem to hit all the big road stops while we're live streaming. And I'll pre-warn you today, today could be one of those slow days. We'll see. Today we're working with getting enemies back into our game if we don't have any questions. So with that, let's take a quick look and see if we have any questions. I looked at some of the previous streams as well as right now, and it looks like we're clear. So there aren't any specific questions for today. So we'll just hop straight into getting our AI back online. Let me just double check all our levels are good. Just want to make sure that we actually are streaming, because we have made that mistake before. And it looks like we are good. Okay, so where we left off was we made all kinds of progress with our inventory system and everything like that, and we kind of realized we needed to get back to a point where we could spawn our enemies. Now, how do we spawn NPC characters with our new project? And that's the trick that we're trying to wrap our head around right now. So let me show you what I've at least discovered. I have this enemy spawn point, and there's a couple things that are worth noting here. I've tried a couple things. So first one is just trying to spawn an AI from class, and rather than hero default, I was trying to spawn the enemies. We're going to set, and we'll set the AI controller to be the HWZ AI controller. Okay? So theoretically, after 2 seconds after we spawn, we're going to draw a sphere where this dude should spawn and see what happens. Okay, and there's the sphere. Actually, there's lots of spheres. It's interesting. 2 spheres showed up. That was interesting. But if you'll notice, no characters. No characters at all. So if we go back and we look at our enemy, I want to show you what we're chasing right now. In here, our enemy is getting set to hidden until it gets initialized. If I uncheck that so they don't get hidden, I'll press play. That didn't work either. Interesting. We go back and we change that back to a hero though. I thought that I had that hero default. Okay. No characters. I don't understand why we're seeing 2 spheres either. That's sort of weird. Look at this hero default. Oh no, that's not what we wanted. Let's go back to this. It's not hero default, it's shooter mannequin. shooter mannequin default. And then let's look at shooter mannequin. Shooter mannequin has the same stuff in the event graph with the hiding of the initialized actor. So let's go with that. So shouldn't see anything. Okay, we don't. Uncheck this hidden. Play again. Huh. I was pretty sure the dude was drawing. If we uncheck that, we may be further away than I thought. This is gonna spawn a shooter mannequin in a random location around a 200 foot where this is. Okay, great. And then when we get in here, do we ever hit the baby and play on this dude? We should hit it for ourselves. That's fine. Yeah, we hit it for the enemy. Here we go. Listen for team. Set actor hidden in game. And then it gets possessed. Does not have authority. So there's a bunch of things about that. This is shooter mannequin. Interesting. Okay, well that's not working. Keep that back what it was, so we don't break anything. Nope, we're... Alright, we'll check it out. Let's come back to our enemy. This should be fine. And then what I want to do is for our spawn point, oh, hold up. Let's try this. Let's try spawn actor from class. Spawn an actor from class instead. Can we set the controller here? Well, let's just... Oh, let's see here. Let's see if we can do our enemy. We'll start with the enemy here. We're going to use this spawn transform. I'm not gonna worry about the instigators or anything like that. Let's just see if we can get that to work and then go back to our enemies. Make sure that's not set to hidden. Let's see, one yellow dude. Nope, no yellow dude. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, I thought I had this stuff working. So we'll go to the new way. The new way... I don't like the new way though. Let's try something. Let's do shooter mannequin again. Shooter mannequin. We won't set them hidden in game. There's our spear. No shooter mannequin. What is going on? Combat gem. Hero data. Nope. I know that if we do it this way, it'll work. Okay, so I hit a breakpoint in my code because what I did is I made this spawn one bot. I went back and I made it so that spawn one bot was actually a blueprint callable function. And what I'm thinking is, we're gonna change this to be spawn one enemy. That's what I'm thinking. But anyways, this goes through. We'll just continue playing and remove that breakpoint. So it spawns one enemy. Oh, interesting. It spawned 2 enemies. And they are on different teams. How did it do that? Oh, we have more than one spawn point. How does it decide which team, like, who wrote this code, man? Let's do this. Let's update our enemy spawn point and let's give it a variable. None to spawn. Or spawn count. Spawn count is much more succinct. Spawn count. We'll make this an integer, and it will be instance editable when sure expose on spawn. Let's compile that. And then what we're going to do is we'll keep the delay, and then we'll go for for loop from 0 to our spawn count. We're going to come through here, and we're going to get the spawner location. We'll get a random point within a 200 radius. We'll draw our sphere, and then we'll spawn one enemy. What I'm curious about is, do they only spawn? How many enemies is going to spawn? Now, what we need to do is we need to update our spawn counts in our spawn points. So let's just take... I also don't know why a character spawned way over here. Oh, I know why it spawned over here. Because it's using the player start points. That's why it's not using our spawn points. If I take this spawn point, wait, let's go back to that thing. Compile and save. If I come back to this here, where's our spawn count? Details. Spawn count. It says spawn 5 dudes. Five characters. First tick setup. Did not like that. I definitely got hit a breakpoint. Whoa. Interesting. 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay. It's not spawning 5. That says 0. Okay, so there's a reason why we got 5. Alright. So let's see here. In our spawn point, this should be spawn count -1. Because arrays are 0 based. Or, I'm sorry, yeah, in typical form. Okay. So that'll get us to the right number of enemies. Now here's the problem. Even though this is spawning our enemies, it's not really working the way we want, because what it's doing is it's using the code to spawn the enemies. I really want to spawn this actor from class. Set AI controller class. Okay, let's try that. And switch it back to not our spawn one bot. We should be spawning 5 enemies. There's 5 spheres, but I don't have 5 enemies. We don't even see them. It doesn't make any sense. And I think it's because our enemies... Oh, interesting. What if we just skip all of this observed team colors and we set our team ID to 0? Still no characters. Okay, so that's not it. Okay, so it's not our listen to team change. We're not going to set the activate in game. If the pawn is ready to initialize, we're going to show the pawn again next frame. We're going to set activate in game. Okay, does nothing. Does nothing. And then there's the possession, where we're granting our initial inventory. Where's the cosmetics here? Here's a pawn cosmetics component. Oh. Okay. Let's change this to... Let's use... Let's try this. Nada. Wow. This is enemy. We are spawning an enemy? Oh no. It's because we weren't spawning an enemy. Changing too many things, everybody. Too many things. No meshes. Where are they? Are they invisible? Yes, they're there. Okay, they're there, they just don't have skin. Okay. That's something. Okay, so if we come back to our enemy. Let's go back to invisible. And then, can we change this to be... Nope. Interesting. Yep, they're still there. They're idling. They're just not visible. Okay, so what's happening is our enemies. Here's our initial inventories. Problem is they're in our cosmetics. Our cosmetics are not getting activated. Reference error. On character parts changed. Who calls this? Nobody in Blueprint calls this. crazy idea. Let's go to our enemies. This is our enemies. Let's go to our spawn points. This is enemy. Let's call Team Cosmetics. Team ID. Team display asset. Green? I don't know. Let's just see. Nope. That didn't do it. 255 is the team we're on. Okay, a couple things. We don't need 5 enemies now. We can use 1. And if we go back to this, this is our enemies. Get team color with fog. Create or update outline if needed. Update a custom stencil. Apply team colors to the meshes. That's the material manager. I don't think we need that anymore. That goes straight to code. If it's a mesh component, we're gonna apply to mesh component. What are we gonna apply? The mesh component, scalar parameters, color parameters, material interfaces, material. Well, I see it's setting the materials. That's what it's doing. Okay. But it's doing it based on the team display asset. Do we ever hit this part of the code? Let's see. I'm gonna put a little bit longer delay in here. Just to give me time to click through. If we play, we're gonna hit it for ourselves. Okay. All right, we do hit it. So we've hit this code, and our mesh component is a character mesh 0. Scalar parameters, there's 2 of them. Base color fall off. Okay. Color parameters, 6 of them. Team color, red, green, blue. That's a lot of red, a little bit of green, a little bit of red. This should be yellow. Yeah, that's all cool. It should totally be yellow. And then we're getting the materials. So we're definitely hitting this. We're definitely setting our colors for a mesh component. I just don't see a mesh. Not in wireframe either. And it's not like it's at the origin. What is going on? Here we go, spawn. Spawn the AI. And the class we're going to spawn is yeah, that's fine. Okay. The hero shooter mannequin. That's gonna return pawn object. Interesting. This is supposed to, I don't wonder what this is returning. Alright. Let's cast this to a shooter mannequin. And then can we call this? Medic change. It's interesting that I can't. Wow. Standing right there, but our cosmetics are not changing. Does not matter if we're using that or the other one. So if we pop our enemy back into play, reset our display. Interesting. Oh, okay. We have a character. The interesting thing is, this character is not actually breathing or doing. Which is weird because I was pretty sure alright, let's go back through this way and let's do an enemy. And we're not gonna worry about this. Actually maybe we will. And no, we won't. Cast it to an enemy. And then we'll call the plasma exchange again. Okay. What is going on? So this dude's not breathing. It's like he's not possessed. Okay. And the cosmetics change does work, because if we actually do this, it's changing the color to green. But right now, this is spawning. It's like the dude's not getting possessed. Oh, interesting.
Punctuates the solitude of the peacefulness.
So he is getting possessed. Wait for experience ready is nothing. It's like our camera just quit on us too. Do we ever add our initial inventory or anything like this? This is our enemy health bars. Okay, we'll see if we ever come in there. Never gets possessed, or never gets the gameplay ready. So the order of things is sufficiently messed up in how this is working. But if we spawn one bot, it just bugs me that that doesn't work. I feel like that should work. It just bugs me that it doesn't. I think we're gonna have to update this. I think we're gonna have to go into code. I think that's the other problem. I'm trying not to go into the code because I'd really like not to. But if we exit out of this, let's just do this real quick. Let's see if we can do this real fast. Sure. Save all those. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna spawn another one bot. Let's write a function called spawn one NPC bot. It gets okay, so here's where the controller class is coming from. But what I want to do is I want to pass this in. Okay. So this is where my programming skills lack, so I need to find an example. Okay, and for our creation component, we're going to duplicate this. And this is going to be an NPC bot. Nope. And it's going to have an AI controller. Okay, but what I want is I think we want this to be a constant. And if we do that as a constant, we do need it in there too. If we make 8. Oh, it's dead. Okay.
Solitude for peacefulness.
Let's look at this Lyra, the Lyra team creation. I want to look at some of the code that's in there. Since we're stumbling through this. Lyra weapons. Nope. Where does this live? This lives in teams. System teams. Lyra team creation component.h. This is not helpful. Blueprint callable. Okay, let's give it a category. Okay, we already got a category. That's cool. Okay. And that gets the ability system. That gets the pawn data. This is, it sets the pawn and in pawn data with a constant. Okay, dude, I think we might be all right. So, see if it compiles. While that's compiling, let's go back and see here. Oh wait, we don't want to do this if this is, okay, we're gonna have to stop. Build. I don't want to cancel it. It's not gonna work because our new controller is gonna get stopped by this. Oh, this spawns an actor. That's not what we want at all. What is this set to? Bot controller class. I actually think what we want is we want this instead of what we were doing. Okay, so that's not gonna work. So we want this to be this. And if we switch over, we're gonna switch this to this. And then this will be our controller class. NPC controller class. I'm gonna rename that because I think there might be a conflict. Okay. And then the class that we're gonna use is not gonna come from the world. Spawn info. Get the game mode, check the game mode. No. Oh, looks like there were errors anyways. And the errors were cannot convert. Okay, that's fine. Because we're changing it anyways. Let's try to build this again. All these squiggly red lines are scary. This ought to be interesting because I don't know how it's going to set the name. Dispatch, host login, restart the player. Spawned bot list. Where is that tracked? Spawned. Oh, interesting. Spawn bot list does not seem to be defined in here. Oh, it is. It's right here. And it's a protected UI property. And we add to the list if we spawn an NPC bot right now. I think we're going to change that. We add to the list if we spawn one bot. If we remove one bot, okay, that's why we don't want, because we could potentially remove our bot. Still. So I think we're gonna want a different list. I feel like this bot creation component is not necessarily a bad place to do what we're doing. There's probably an argument to be made for the enemy system being a separate component too. See if we can fix our camera real quick. Ooh, that succeeded. Holy goodness, our code change succeeded. That seems like a miracle whenever I do that. It's It definitely looks like our camera does. Just give it a break. Hit our usual 83%. So if this works, then what we're going to do is we're probably going to come back in here and update this code. Probably skip a few things like setting player names and stuff like that. But let's just not get ahead of ourselves. Let's see if this even works. I mean, the fact that it compiled already was great. So let's see here. We are looking for our spawn point. And what we're going to do is rather than spawning one bot, we are going to spawn. Let's spawn one NPC. Holy goodness, y'all. Look at this. Our function showed up. Can't believe we know what we're doing here. We definitely don't know what we're doing, but all right, let's see here. Let's try to set our controller class. And, oh, okay, so this is the other problem. Let's just see if it even spawns. Because it's not letting us set the position. All right, dude. I can't tell you how awesome that is. Our character spawned, and it has AI working, which is great. Also, it actually took our team colors and everything like that, which is awesome. If we come back here and we reset our enemies back to being what they were originally, I don't think it was none. I think it was invisible. Let's check our hero, our shooter mannequin. Shooter mannequin, where are you? Yeah, it's supposed to be invisible. So our enemy should be that. So if we compile and save this and run again. Great. So that is working. It's totally working. The thing that's not working, or the thing that we want control of, is we need to be able to set our enemy position. And that's the thing we gotta figure out how that's happening. So when we come in here, spawn actor, spawn info. Let's put a breakpoint here. Let's see what this is. Cool thing is now we no longer have to worry about hitting the other breakpoints, which is cool. Alright, so come in here. Our spawn info is null. We got nothing. There's nothing there. Persistent level, okay. This is the one I want to know. Get world. Spawn actor AI controller is a new controller, but the world is what? Can I step in it? That's just a controller. Then we're getting the game mode. Restart the player. It's gonna set the name. Dispatch post login. Restart the player. Check pawn ready to initialize. It returns true. And then it adds it to the spawn list. The thing is though, I don't see where it chooses. Where does it choose its position? That's what we need to figure out. So we can remove this breakpoint. That was not helpful. We need to find where the enemy how's the enemy get to spawn where it spawns? Spawn one NPC bot. It also doesn't return anything for us to do with it. Like we can't. That's a bummer. We can change that though, of course. We can give it a return. But I feel like, oh, you know what? does this do? Oh no. Okay, it's not gonna be cosmetics. This is spawn default pawn. Spawn default pawn at transform implementation. Interesting. This is in the Lyra game mode. And Lyra team creation. That creates the team. New team private info. What we're looking for is how it decides where it's going to be. It looks like we got our camera back. So let's see if we can't turn that back on. I guess it overheated. All right. The interesting thing is, this is the zero vector, right? This is where it's probably gonna put it. That would be my guess. But somewhere, these player controllers are being used. These player starts. Interesting. Open Lyra player start. There's a player start.h. New Lyra player start location occupancy is claim, try claim. Oh, interesting. So the controllers are gonna claim. Oh, okay. So somewhere in here, controllers are gonna try to claim a location. Interesting. Where does this happen? Because we don't need to claim anything. TDM player spawn management component. Oh my goodness. Lyra player spawning manager component. Okay. So what this does is, when this component gets initialized, add after spawn handler. It goes through all the player starts and it caches the player starts. Get first random unoccupied player start. That happens down here in choose player start. Alright, so what we want to do, so choose player start is going to come in here, and if it's a player, we're going to get starter points. We're going to go through them. We're going to choose a player start. We're going to get the first random unoccupied start point. We're going to try to claim it, and we're going to return that start. Seems reasonable. So now, who's calling this? Ooh. spawning manager component. That's where we are. And that's being called from. Wait, what? Oh, there's an on choose player start as well. What are these? What are they? So listen to this. We proxy these calls from the game mode so that each experience can more easily customize the respawn system they want. Interesting. Player start, game system, player array, find the team objects, the team. Okay. None of these are blueprint callable, so somebody else is handling all this. The game mode. Handle starting new player implementation. Delay starting new players until the experience has been loaded. Put it on fire until it will be started by on experience loaded. Okay. Choose player start and use the find component by Lyra. Player spawning manager component. Going down the rabbit hole. I don't see anywhere this is being called in code. I don't see where it's being called in Blueprint either. Level generation. Get all actors of class for each one. Going through, those are blocking areas. Oh, I see. Okay, that's not what we're looking for. Lyra, player spawning manager component. Choose player start. This has to be called somewhere. Yep, it is. It is called in. No. I don't see where it's called. There's another way to find this. We could do this. We can put a breakpoint in here. And we can press play. And it's going to come in here, and then we can look at the call stack. And we can say, this came from the game mode. Choose player start implementation. Okay, and who called this? On experience loaded. Okay, hold on a second. We got on experience loaded complete. Full load. Okay, interface with the delegate interface execute safe parameters. Wow, the rabbit hole is deep. So this is experience loaded. This is our player controller iterator. We're restarting the player. And here we are again, we're choosing player start. And who called it this time? Spawn one NPC called it this time. How? Choose player start implementation is the Lyra game mode. But what does it do with it? It returns it, and it returns it to here, which returns it to I don't see where this is coming from. I'm gonna have to dig into this a little bit more. Well, I was not wrong. Today was a slow day. We're not so bad. We're kind of at a point where we're just kind of stumbling through the foundational stuff of getting our enemies set up. So it doesn't surprise me that this is stumbling. But I mean, at least we got an enemy spawning. We made some code changes successfully that do that. I think we just need to give ourselves a few more things, like choosing where they're spawning and so on. It still bugs me that we can't just spawn an AI from class. That should work. And so I've got to figure out why that doesn't work. And it could just be because the Lyra characters are pretty complicated with all of their cosmetics and everything. And it may be worthwhile to create an actor that is just simply a skeletal mesh with an AI controller on it and see if we can do those same things there. I think we're going to do both for the learnings, just to kind of see. And I will either be stumbling through that with you Sunday night, or I will update you Sunday night with my findings along the way. Anybody who's hanging out in the wings, good on you. That was probably a brutal one to watch. And I hope you have a great rest of your week, everybody. Take it easy.